Hi, this is Kayla. Here as Afro Pintura, the painter. That's what I do. I paint. I tend to focus on watercolor and acrylic and drawing, and honestly whatever I can get my hands on I like to try out. So today I'm going to be showing you a watercolor of an elephant wearing a gas mask, and I am going to insert clips of that, but I also wanted to talk about something. I've noticed that as an artist lately, within like the past 6 months, I guess honestly ever since I left college, where I was working all the time on art because it was my full-time job, but now I have an actual full-time job, and trying to balance that with art and not being in an environment where everyone's making art all the time has been it's been difficult to find time to make art, and it's been difficult to find the motivation when you're so tired and all of that. So I kind of want to talk about that as an artist who works full-time and has a lot going on in her life. I just wanted to find a new way to approach it. I am not a very business-like person. I'm not an entrepreneur per se. I have started an art website, and I wanted to follow the same model as Happy D artists and some other artists who've made a great living selling their work and making a market off of it. But for me, that is something that is extremely difficult, as I am not that type of person at all. I'm not very organized or anything like that. So honestly, I've kind of taken a few ideals that I've had about art and accessibility of art, and that I wanted to incorporate into my new approach. I don't want to necessarily try to sell my art for as expensive as I possibly can. I feel like art has become a lot like music and other art forms, where it's about making money and it's about notoriety. And I am a very laid-back person, and I honestly feel like everyone should have access to art regardless of their income. Yes, you should have to pay for it. That is someone's time and effort that they put into that. But they, sorry if I keep looking over here, I'm hearing sounds. Anyway, yeah, so I feel like everyone should be able to have access to art, prints, originals, whatever they want, at an affordable price. I think you should be paid for your time, and you should go with your skill level and be realistic about it. For me, I still consider myself a novice artist, even though I went to school for 4 years. I don't know, I feel like I have a long way to go in discovering my brushstroke and everything like that, and the right style. I feel like I have a style, but it's still developing. I don't know, I feel like a baby still as an artist. So I want to start myself out with a lower base pay, so I don't feel like my art should be as expensive as someone who spent like 20 years making art, you know? So that's just me. That's how I want to approach it. So I want to sell art that is accessible, and I will try to film videos of me doing my watercolors, acrylics, and I want to give a realistic price that is affordable for a lot of people, and not just the top of the top who can buy like $100,000 art pieces or $800 art pieces. I feel like I make art for people my age, and people my age tend to be broke. So I just want to make sure that everyone has access to art, original and print. So I will be listing my art for sale on my website and including the price in the description, because it's not going to scare you off. I will consider the time it took me to make the art, the materials, and that will be the art range. Honestly, most watercolors, especially like on a regular size piece of paper, probably gonna run you like $20, $25 for the original. So that's what I'm trying to do. I want to make this accessible. If you want frames, if you want shipping, all that stuff of course will cost extra, but literally the price of what it is, not me trying to sell you on anything. Sorry if what's going on. Anyway, yeah, so honestly that's what I wanted to say about that and how my new approach to selling art. As far as personally, I feel that this will be a better approach, because in the past I've struggled with trying to sell art for a higher price and not feeling like it's necessarily worth that price, which kind of makes me feel bad. But it shouldn't make me feel bad that I don't feel like it's a $500 painting. Maybe I just don't want to sell it for $500. I feel like that's unrealistic. I feel like it's going to sit in my room forever as it is. So I kind of want to be more realistic in selling my art, and it puts less pressure on me when I'm coming up with these prices in my head that are higher based on other artists and what they sell their work for. I feel like it puts a lot of pressure on me, because I'm like, oh man, I have to make this worth this amount of money, and it kind of takes the joy away from it, as well as deadlines. And another thing I wanted to talk about is the commissions. I know that artists make money now basically just mostly doing commissions, things people ask them to paint, like, hey, I'd like for you to paint this. I've run into problems with that. I feel like a lot of times when I'm asked to commission something, I'm given either no direction or a direction that's completely opposite of the work I tend to create. And the other aspect of that is that I am a very carefree, like happy-go-lucky type of person, and I don't like being told what to do, especially at art. Art is something that's always been freeing for me. I've always been able to create what I want to create, and commissions kind of take that away from me. I feel like I'm kind of forced to, okay, you gotta paint this, and it feels like an assignment, and I hardly find time to paint as it is, so I definitely don't have time to work on commissions, because motivating myself to paint something I don't want to paint when I hardly have time to paint, very difficult. So I just want to kind of move away from commissions. I just want to sell my work for what it is at the price I want to sell it, and I just want to be more free about it and more real about it, because that's the type of person I am. I don't want to charge $500 for a painting I feel is worth $50, and that's just where I want to go with this. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I wanted to share this painting with you guys, and I will talk a little bit more about the painting. This is something I've painted before. I painted it in acrylic for a paint class that I had, and I didn't really want to paint it in acrylic at the time. I really wanted to do watercolor, but it was an acrylic painting class, so I did. But I really like the concept. It actually came from an idea I had of a tattoo I wanted of an elephant wearing a gas mask, because and the environment and protecting it is something that is important to me, and I feel like this kind of reflects that, kind of giving a sense of taking like this natural, iconic animal and putting them in a gas mask to show, like, you know, they're struggling in this environment, we're harming their environment, and they need protection. So the gas mask reflects protection, and the elephant, of course, is an iconic natural animal. So it's just about environmental protection, and you can really take it however you want. Honestly, I also just thought the image was cool. So, you know, you can take it in that direction, another direction if you'd like. I'd love to hear what you think of the subject matter, but that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching. Bye.